Hi folks, you're with Tasvis today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about the Ahmaud Arbery case in the United States. Now, it's alleged that three white men shot him, and the prosecution is saying alleging it was murder. And I was looking at some of the media coverage that's beyond biased. There's a majority of the jury is white, and apparently this is a real problem. If the majority is black, it would not be a problem, apparently. So, and where there are majority black juries, this is not listed as an issue at all. It's a good thing. It's a wonderful thing. But white people are so bad, evil, fascist, Nazis, every one of them, that if you've got a majority of them on a jury, well, yeah, what can I say? But the media coverage, and I'm just reading articles and watching some of the coverage on the news stations, but the online written media coverage is about as biased as you can get. The opening line, and the black guy's mother wept quietly as the details were read out by the Mr. Smith accused has a Confederate flag in his front yard, and constantly the white people are made out to be these evil, super racist Ku Klux Klan hicks. There's no attempt at any sort of balanced, no attempt at balanced coverage, and these are the more left-wing sort of leaning journals. Ones are the super pumped globalist thing of creating racial division, and Mr. Arbery is depicted really. He was just going for a jog. He's an upstanding citizen. He's going for a jog, and just because he was black, only because of that, no other reason. These damn fascist Ku Klux Klan Nazi hick lowlifes came along and just killed him for no reason, just because he was black, and that's it. And they've got to go to damn prison, electric chair for those bums. Now, the reality, of course, is going to be quite different, but this is the image that the media is putting forward, and I must say, based on some of the judges' rulings so far, it seems they're prepared to allow the judges prepared to allow a very racial, ideological play by the prosecutors. Now, if they can't play this ideological game of race politics, race ideology, Marxist race, if they can't play that, then they have to rely just on the facts, which is the allegations are that Mr. Arbery was a very experienced and frequent breaking into houses and helping himself to the bits and pieces inside, and when some people bailed him up and attempted to bring him to the police to be put under arrest, he decided that he wouldn't have that. There was a struggle, and unfortunately, Mr. Arbery lost his life. But that doesn't make anyone guilty of murder, in my cognizance at least. And of course, this is for a court to decide, an independent court of law, not some ideological hack bullshit forum, but an independent court of law. So let's see what happens there. And I'm not pretending to be across every single micro fact of the case, but based on the media, the white men are ruthlessly depicted as fascist neo-Nazis, and Mr. Arbery depicted as a sweet, innocent guy minding his own business. He was just out jogging. All he was concerned about was his fitness. And again, the pathos that they use in the thing of his sister was crying, his mother was crying, his cousin was crying, and all this that has nothing to do with the case or its relevance. And they like to do, but the prosecution is relying again very heavily on the racial factor that they can infuse racism into it. Even if Mr. Arbery was and there's evidence to prove it was robbing, breaking into houses and robbing them. Even if that was the case, the prosecution's going to try and make out, well, you didn't really go after Mr. Arbery for that. You only did it because he was black. That's the only reason. And if they can get up with that, then they can try and get over the line and say, well, it's therefore racism. And that's what they want to do. And I think outside of that, they've really got no chance of winning or getting, in my opinion, no chance of getting up. Now, we all know that when, in any case, whether it be George Floyd or Rodney King case in Los Angeles, whenever a judge allows the racial ideology, that horrible racial ideology to enter into it, then facts tend to just somehow disappear into the ether, and everyone's fixated on race and trying to make out that all white people are racists they're all fascists and Nazis and so on, and that's the direction. But again, if the judge holds firm, as appears to be the case, I think in the Kyle Rittenhouse case, but as I understand it, there are no blacks involved in that. But if the judge holds firm, as the judge has sworn an oath to do, then I think it's going to be very difficult to convict those people. But my feeling thus far in the early days of the case is that the judge probably will allow the prosecution to play the ideological Marxist race card and then try and exploit it as a race issue. And so it doesn't matter if Mr. Arbery is the black guy. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant if he's guilty, because those guys are racist. Therefore, they are guilty, and that'll be the play. And in this early stage, it rather looks like they're going to get up with it. Now, there was a case in Australia recently where, and I think it went worldwide, the politicians was falling over themselves to get in front of the camera to claim credit for finding. There was a young 3 or 4 year old girl who'd gone missing from as I understand it, a campsite in the state of Western Australia, and it was the child was abducted, and when the media was saying that the child has been found and that somebody, a 36-year-old man, I think it was put into custody by police, and they made no mention of the race. And I knew then it was a black person, because if it was a white person, they would have had the photograph there, they'd have gone hammer and tongs on it. But I don't think any of the left-wing or left-leaning news outlets in Australia were prepared to say that it was a black guy, an Indigenous Australian black guy that abducted the white kid. Now, if it'd been in the reverse, the white guy abducting a black kid, it would have been a pandemonium. They'd have been reveling in that. Oh, look at all those bad white people again. And they wouldn't have missed that opportunity but because it was in reverse, they didn't mention the thing. And you actually had to dig around for quite a while to find out it was. Like, I knew it was, but I just wanted confirmation. So again, this racial politics, we've allowed it to infect our entire judicial system, and gender politics as well. And if there's a priority for any of us in terms of fighting back against globalization, then it's to say, no, that the law matters, facts matter, evidence matters, not bullshit Marxist ideology. Now, the reason the globalists like this, like these racial and gender divisions, is because it divides us, and it causes us to lose confidence in ourselves and to fight each other and not put our energy into fighting them. That's why they like it. They don't give a shit about black people or women, far from it. But they're useful devices for them, and that's why they use it. And that's something we have to fight back. If the legal system is working well on facts and evidence, not ideology, facts and evidence, then that takes a lot of power away from the globalists to disrupt our societies. And we always need to recognize that and remember it, and push back whenever we can. You've been with Tastis today at your Pushback channel. Thank you for listening.